Welcome to Curry TV. On this episode, I'm going to be showing you, or my friend is going to be showing you, how to make an authentic version of Paneer butter masala. Rani, welcome to Curry TV.
Thank you so much, Aishi. So happy to be here.
Thank you so much for teaching us how to make an authentic version of Paneer butter masala.
I'm very happy to be here.
How did you learn this?
So I have always enjoyed cooking. It's one of those things that makes me feel connected to home because I was born in India and then lived a few years there, and then we moved to the States and was raised here since.
So where in India were you brought up?
So my parents are from Kerala, but I was born and raised in Delhi.
So you're so frequent with Hindi?
I'm very fluent with Hindi.
Good.
And so one of the dhabawalas that was close to our house, we used to go to him all the time, anytime we had a party at home, and mom couldn't cook in large volumes.
Right.
And he would let me watch.
And
so there are a few things that he taught me about how you season the oil. So in Hindi we call it tadka.
Tadka.
So he taught me how to season appropriately for paneer, because being a cottage cheese, it's very hard to get the flavors to actually wrap into it and get absorbed.
Paneer means cottage cheese.
Yes,
here.
It's an Indian version of cottage cheese.
Okay.
Yes. So if we were to go to the market and get cottage cheese, it wouldn't be the same thing. But if you were to go to an Indian store, like an Indian grocery store, you can absolutely find it there.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So why don't we take a look at all the ingredients, what we'll be using for this?
Absolutely.
And then you can take us through how you do this.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Too. Okay, so for the ingredients, we've laid everything out here and pre-measured. The core components of the tadka are on this plate right here. We have bay leaves, 3 small ones. We have cloves.
Three small cloves.
3 small cloves. This is about 3/4 teaspoons of cumin seeds. 3 dried red chilies.
Methi leaves?
Yes, methi leaves.
That's fenugreek dried leaves.
Dried fenugreek leaves.
Okay.
And
2 small cinnamon sticks.
And 2 small cinnamon sticks.
Very good. Okay.
In Hindi, we call it dalchini.
Dalchini?
Yep.
Dalchini is cinnamon sticks?
Yep.
Nice. I learned something new today. Okay. And what are the spices, the other powder that we will be using?
So we are using turmeric powder.
Okay.
Garam masala. Dhania jeera, which is cumin and coriander. Thank you. And red chili powder.
And now, is that the red spicy chili powder, or is that the paprika, the Kashmiri chili powder?
So this is a special blend of Kashmiri and red chili powder.
So it's an even out.
It's an even out mix.
Okay. Yeah. So how many spoons is that?
So you'll see the splits in the bowls. So a total of 1 teaspoon each.
Okay.
But I've set it out separately, half a teaspoon each.
Oh.
The reason being, so this is where what I was talking about, where the dhabawala taught me how to do this correctly.
Yes. Okay.
So you use 1/2 of the portion of the spices. So this is the khada masala. Khada masala just means solid or sabut.
Okay.
And so this is going to be used towards the end.
Oh.
Originally, we're going to prep the onions and the paneer separately.
Okay.
And we're going to use half portions of each.
Now,
so,
how many people will this serve?
This will comfortably serve 4 people.
4 people.
That's how I've laid the proportions out.
An Indian version of cottage cheese.
That is correct.
Which is paneer.
Yeah.
And that's 1 pound?
Roughly about 1 pound. Maybe a little more, but yes.
Okay. Give or take 1 pound.
Yeah.
And how many tomatoes?
3 medium-sized tomatoes.
So that's the Roma size?
Roma tomatoes,
okay.
yes. Yep, Roma size.
Tomatoes. And de-seeded too. There's no seeds in there.
Yes,
okay.
we've
Why
de-seeded
did we
it and cut
seeds?
it. So tomato seeds are very difficult to cook, and especially with paneer when you blend the tomato seeds. So once you've cooked the seeds and blended them, it really just gives you a very bitter taste at the bottom.
You are a chef indeed, Babe.
I've learned over the years.
Yes, I see. Okay, and this is?
This is a half of a large onion, just cubed out.
Okay.
We are going to end up blending and pureeing them together. However, we cook them first with the spices, so then that way we have that even consistency and they catch the flavor.
Okay. Now, what are these things that we're
Yes,
using?
so these are the additional flavor items.
Okay.
So salt we're going to use as needed for seasoning.
Okay.
So this measurement I didn't put it out because it depends on people's taste.
Right, according to your taste measure.
Exactly.
Salt to taste. Okay.
We're going to use a teaspoon of ginger garlic paste.
Okay.
And that will get fried with the onions.
And so, what is this? What are these?
So this is about tablespoons of cashew
Okay.
ground into a paste.
Okay. So
And
any
so-
water added?
Yes, we have added roughly about 30 milliliters of water.
Okay.
I did top it off just a little bit to give it a better consistency.
Okay.
But
But
that's,
you're looking for that rich, thick paste.
yes, you want that paste to be thick, but not too flowy because
Okay.
it's supposed to add volume. And then this is a little under 1 cup
Okay.
of
So
whipping cream.
Oh, whipping cream, heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Yeah.
So now, is this for garnishing?
This is for garnishing.
So it doesn't matter if it is half cup or 3/4 of a
Yes,
cup.
the volume
that's
will
fine.
depend. The
How
volume
you
will depend on
garnish, how
exactly.
the richness look. Do you want orangey color or do you want reddish color? Or,
Right.
Yeah, right.
And then for some people, they want it a little bit sweeter, so you can add more cream, or you can keep
So
it kind
if
of
your
curved.
spices were so punching out, then dilute it with the heavy cream.
Yes, it's a very easy
And
way to
the
do it.
cashew paste.
Yes, the cashew paste will give it the sweet background
Yes.
taste on your palate.
Okay.
That's so it kind of plays against the sabut masala. So that's the purpose behind adding the cashew.
Okay, and this is
This is cilantro. Measurement wise, I usually just go to the grocery store and get a bunch, and then it's a half of that bunch.
so you minced it.
I minced it.
So what is this? And then this is
And this is asafoetida.
Okay.
It's called hing in Hindi. We add just a pinch of it.
so how do we do this?
So we start with a wok.
Okay. A wok
People
is best?
have. I prefer wok because it distributes the heat evenly.
So how do you do this? Is
Yeah.
this in butter or is this in oil? How do you do this?
So I like to use ghee. We're going to be using a total of 3 teaspoons of ghee.
So this is nice and rich.
Oh, absolutely. But it goes step by step for
Okay.
each of the layers. So for the first layer, we're only going to use the first teaspoon of ghee.
Okay.
What
do you serve this with?
So you can serve this with rice, naan, chapati, and just a dash of hing. And so you see it crackle. So that's how you know your
Baba. That
oil is
two,
hot.
Baba? That's
Yes. Yeah, I just put 2 dashes in there.
two? A generous amount.
Yeah. And I want it to evenly cook around.
Okay.
Make sure it's all the way on the oil. Out of my sabut masala, the only additive that I put in here is the jeera. So this is about 3/4 tablespoon, right? Like we covered earlier. I put about half that quantity in here just for that flavor. And see, that's how you know your ghee is nice and hot. It's crackling right away.
Okay.
And now we add a half a teaspoon, of ginger garlic paste. And I want that ginger garlic paste to cook really well. And ginger garlic paste is going to cook really quickly. So right after that, you toss in your onions.
I really thought you actually pan fry your paneer first.
So it's going to happen separately. There are certain people that like to pan fry the paneer separately. Now remember how I was talking about maintaining your flavor
Right.
all in the same wok? So what I do is I cook the onions and then I cook the tomatoes together, and then I empty them out of this wok, leave the same amount of oil and masala in there, add additional ghee, and cook the paneer in there. So no flavor lost.
Oh, yeah.
No flavor lost, exactly, yeah. Alrighty, so the onions we can see are starting to get golden brown, and so this is when salt you want to add as you season based on your flavor. This is a spoon from India. I have no idea what the measurement is, but I know what we use for our cooking, so I just season accordingly. So I usually start about half the quantity of this.
Okay.
Toss it
Just
up there,
get that. Okay.
and we see the onions cooking, and
Nice charcoal.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right,
Smokiness is
exactly. We
coming
start to
through.
see it char a little bit, and so now I'm going to turn the heat down to about halfway. So it should be about medium heat, depending on gas or hot plate. And now we add our tomatoes.
That one guy is
I know he is.
actually
Okay. And so now I'm going to add a little bit more salt since I added the tomatoes.
Right.
And then this is where I usually add my red chili powder
Oh,
and turmeric,
okay.
because we want those quantities of masala to like kind of cook in here
So we have actually cooked together, right?
several times. 2 times now, actually. Yes, yeah.
Several for Christmas.
Oh
party,
yeah, several. Yes.
Right? For a large number of people.
Oh,
But
almost like 300.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first Christmas party was actually for 300 people.
Yep.
And the last avio was for 500 people.
Right. And then we also did the fish fry.
Yes.
For the fish
fry.
event. Yes.
The seafood fish event. If you guys haven't seen that, please do check out our
Yes.
video.
It looks amazing. And it tasted amazing. We were able to eat it. So, fun fact, I enjoy cooking large quantities as well.
Yes.
So when I was at Oregon State, I ran the kitchen for the Indian Student Association for India Night 2 years in a row. And so I was the one that doled out the recipes and managed the kitchen. And you were actually my inspiration. Because 2015, I've never told you this, because 2015 December,
Yes.
Christmas is when we cooked together.
Yes.
And then 2016 and 17, I ran that kitchen.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's so sweet of
You and Pramod said, I like watching you guys work. I mean, it's just like clockwork. So I was like, yes, I can do it. And the way you maintain, and I've seen you guys run that large kitchen. So I was like, yep. Like, you guys manage it, man. You manage it like there's no tomorrow. It's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I usually give time for the red chili powder to dissipate and
I
start
see.
cooking, and then I throw in the turmeric.
So that was about 1 minute or so.
Yeah, roughly about a minute to minute and a half. Alrighty, so there we see the tomato just kind of mushing in here, and that is the goal. I want it to be mushed as well as it can before I blend it all together, and so then that way we are able to truly get that flavor released and then blend it and capture it. Alrighty, so the two masalas that we have left are the dhania jeera powder and the garam masala.
Dhania jeera powder. Dhania is the coriander.
Coriander, yep.
Jeera is the cumin.
Cumin, yep.
So dhania jeera means cumin coriander.
Cumin coriander powder,
So
yep.
did you separate those two out?
So they come as a blended mix that you can buy, and then the garam masala is the only bit that I'm going to add right now on here, and then so half the proportion again.
Right.
And we're going to save the other half for the paneer. And then the dhania jeera, I usually add it just to the paneer and then to the full mix at the end.
Okay. Now, do you want any water, the gravy in there, or do you want all to be evaporated?
So we want some of the moisture to be left in there because when we're blending it, so then we don't have to add more water.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I don't fully brown the onions out either, because then it just all evaporates. Yeah. And there we go. So the tomato is almost fully blended and meshed in here. So now we're gonna cover this up for about 2 minutes. This looks like. Alrighty, and there we go. So that looks like a pretty even keeled cook. The onions are starting to turn transparent, and that's our goal. That's where we want it to be. But see, it hasn't lost that gold tinge from when we were first heating it up. And that's kind of what I like.
Good, good.
So now we're gonna empty this out into another container and a bowl and set it apart to cool down for a little bit. And we are going to blend it into a puree. And then we'll start with the paneer portion of this.
The same pan, right?
Yes. So now we're gonna cook the paneer back into the same pan. We leave all the spices in there. I like to just kind of shave it out, scrape it up here and put it in the center because I'm going to put the ghee right back on top of it and let that flavor just disseminate into the ghee as well. This is where we're going to use about a tablespoon and a half because we're going to be frying the paneer. So nothing else goes in here other than the paneer and the spices. Toss in our paneer that was pre-cut.
Okay, now they are in big chunks.
Yes.
Is that what you want, or do you want small cubes?
So this depends entirely on the chef and their preference. So some people like their paneer to be smaller cubes. Some people like larger chunks. I like it right in the middle.
Okay.
So I like it to be long and slender and just about cube volume.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna be fairly quick here. We're gonna toss in just a little bit of the salt. And
According to your taste.
yes, please season exactly as you see fit. We're going to toss in the garam masala. And I'm going to put in a tad bit more. I'm going to save the rest for later. And I'm going to toss in the red chili powder. Same thing, I'm going to save some more for later. So this again is chef discretion.
Right.
Total quantity, 1 teaspoon.
Okay.
And just a tad bit of turmeric, just for the color.
Just flavoring that.
Yeah. And here is where I'm also going to add the cumin and coriander powder, the dhania jeera powder, because I want that flavor in the paneer as well. And so, it's going to be right here. And I put a generous amount here because the rest is just going to get used at the end.
Okay.
And the reason I add a little bit more dhania jeera powder, there's a reason here. When we did the onions and the tomatoes, we used solid cumin, right?
Right.
But we don't do that for the paneer.
Right.
So the masala is supposed to make up for it. And there you go. So I can see most of my paneer is now almost fully done and golden brown. And this is where we want to transfer it over. You don't want to get it overdone because you want the moisture to be evaporated from the outside. However, as you can still see, the paneer is still
in its
soft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
so it's
rubbery?
maintained exactly. It's not exactly. It's not rubbery. It's just cooked properly.
Okay.
And if I wanted to just kind of cut through this one little piece here, we can see that. See?
Yes.
It's just cutting through right there. It's maintaining its moisture, and that's the goal here with this frying.
Okay. What do we do now?
Alrighty, welcome back. So now we are going to cook our puree and the paneer together to bring it all in for our finale.
So we pan fried our kind of shallow fry our paneer in ghee.
In ghee.
And keep it aside.
Yep.
We let the paste or the marinade
The puree.
cool down.
Yep. We let it.
And
Yep.
then we blend it into a nice fine paste.
Yep.
Nice thick paste. And now we are gonna get them married.
Yeah, we're gonna get them married, exactly.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with ghee again. I feel like I've added a little extra ghee the last couple times, so I will try and be a little less generous this time. Yeah. We are going to give it some more time to heat up because the pan's cool down, obviously.
Right.
So now we are going to use the cumin seeds, just like we did the first time, and crack them in oil. And this time we will also be adding the bay leaves, the cinnamon stick, the cloves, and the red chilies. Once they've evened out in the oil and kind of crackled all the way through, and we see the oil cooking these items, then we add the fenugreek leaves on top. And just a quick dash. We don't let it burn, basically.
Okay. So is this the tadka part you're talking?
This is the tadka, yes. So this entire plate is the tadka plate. Yeah.
Man, one pan.
Yeah, you want to do everything in one pan, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
And so there, all of my cumin seeds are in here. And I can hear them starting to heat up and crackle. Now, I don't turn the heat up, like I said, because I don't want any of it to burn.
Right.
All of the flavor capture has already happened with the two components. This is more to add seasoning to the overall dish and kind of maintain that consistency. Yeah, right.
Garnishing, okay.
Yeah.
With the light golden color, is that what you're looking for?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
So I see that my cumin seeds are done. I'm going to put the bay leaves in here. The red chili, you could crack it in half if you like, or put it as a whole. I usually just put it as a whole. Okay. And now you can start smelling the bay leaves there. So this part is, again, one of those quick adds.
Okay.
The ghee is nice and hot, and we're just letting the oil or the ghee season up here with these spices. And see, I can see that the red chilies are starting to finally go darker with the cooking. So now is the time to put the puree in there. It is going to crackle. Can I employ your help?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you hold that, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And there we go. So right now we just
Nice.
cook this puree.
Nice
Yeah.
thick paste. Okay.
And yep. And as you can see, there you go. So and that consistency right there. That's what we're looking for.
Okay. Now you said you used 3 Roma-sized tomatoes for
Yes.
this recipe? Wow. Nice velvety texture, right?
Yes. And we let it cook in there for about a minute or so. And then we will add the cashew paste and let the masala cook with the cashew paste as well.
Okay,
The paneer is going to be the last ingredient that we add on now because it's already cooked. Alrighty, so now I see that the puree is pretty much done. We've got a nice reduction here. A lot of the moisture is gone, but I don't want it to be completely gone because we don't want it to be dry. But this is where you want to add the cashew paste.
Okay.
Because right when the moisture's leaving, you can get the cashew paste to like cook well. There we are. We'll kind of get a nice even mix, and then
Lovely texture,
it's
by the way.
thank you.
Lovely, lovely.
And I'm going to toss in the methi on top. And you see here that yellow, that light yellow color that we
Right.
usually expect from paneer butter masala. So that's where that comes from.
Oh yes, I see it.
And I think we're good on the turmeric. So I didn't end up using my full tablespoon of it. I am going to toss a little bit more in though for flavor.
Okay.
And so I'm going to add the entirety of my garam masala
Okay.
and the dhania jeera, which is the coriander and cumin,
You want me to stir?
and the red chili powder. Oh yeah, please. If you...
Okay.
And this is part of the reason why I do this portion on slightly reduced heat, because thankfully I have you today. Usually, you know, I'm just cooking by myself. Once we let it all blend in together and simmer, we're gonna try and get it to a sort of a soft boil almost, and then we'll add our heavy cream
Okay.
to add a little bit more volume. And once I let the heavy cream sit right around the same time as when I add the paneer as well, and just let it set, and then we should be done actually. And a little bit of the cream. I'm gonna hold back on some of the cream just to see how it pans out.
Okay, this is the
And
heavy whipping.
The heavy whipping cream, yes.
Wow,
And
it just changed that color. And the
I know,
texture,
right? Exactly. And that's kind of the idea, is all of these ingredients together, they give you that smooth, rich. So we toss in the paneer here and get the sauce to evenly get basted on here. And given how thick the consistency is, I'm going to add a tad bit more whipping cream to it, just to give it a little bit more of a liquidy consistency, but not too much.
Not too much, okay.
And that's it. Just a dash.
Would that be sweetening agent too?
Yes, it'll neutralize it out, just in case you have too much
Of something in there.
Of something in there, yes. And now we just let it sit for about 5 minutes on low heat, and then I'm just gonna turn it off. You don't want to leave this part open pan because all the moisture goes away. It'll get too dry. So we're gonna close this up and let it cook. Now for the taste test.
It looks fabulous.
Thank you. I hope it tastes as good as it looks.
All right, ready?
I think I like it. I hope you do too.
It's really, I like that tomato texture coming in, and I would maybe next time blanch the tomatoes a bit so that skin texture won't stand out as much.
Right.
But this is really good. Absolutely. Absolutely. You should try this. It's very easy too. And thank you so much for taking this.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
It was fun. We'll see more of you.
Yes, hopefully.
All right.
I'll definitely see more of Curry TV.
Yes, we'll see more of him too. And you're going to be sharing some of your North Indian dishes and all the things that you have tried in Thai.
And failed on, yeah.
But thank you so much for tuning into Curry TV. We'll see you next time. And thank you, Ronnie, for sharing your wonderful dish with all our audience.
Thank you so much, Echi.
All right.
See you guys.
See ya. Bye-bye.